Have you ever felt that there is something hidden in the world around you, something that quietly influences your destiny, even when you cannot see it? Imagine holding in your hand a simple stone, and yet, through that stone, touching a force capable of reshaping your reality. At first it sounds impossible, even irrational, but deep inside, you know that the greatest truths are often disguised as mysteries that only the brave dare to explore. That is exactly why you are here right now, because a part of you suspects that life is not just random events. A part of you is searching for the keys that unlock the invisible doors of possibility. For centuries, mystics, sages, and seekers like Helena Blavatsky have spoken of hidden energies that flow through the universe, energies that connect the seen with the unseen, the human with the divine. They taught that the universe is not silent, but sings in vibrations, and that some elements of nature carry these vibrations in their purest form. Among them, crystals and stones are like fragments of eternity, crystallized in matter, carrying messages from the cosmic order straight into your hands. The question is not whether these stones have power, but whether you are ready to recognize and use them. Think about it. How many times have you felt blocked, stuck, as if something was silently preventing your growth? These barriers are not always physical. Often they are emotional, psychological, even spiritual. Crystals can act as catalysts, breaking those invisible walls and allowing your true potential to flow. They are not magic tricks. They are tools. And like any tool, when placed in the right hands, they can build an entirely new life. Stay with me until the end, because you will soon discover not just one or two, but 10 powerful stones, each with its own frequency, its own mission, its own gift to offer. Some will speak directly to your heart, others will call to your mind, and at least one will feel as if it was waiting for you all along. By the end of this journey, you will not only know their names, you will feel them. And once you feel them, nothing in your perception of reality will ever be the same again. Have you ever wondered if the objects you see every day, the silent stones under your feet, could actually hold secrets that most of humanity has forgotten? Imagine for a moment that the ground beneath you is not only supporting your steps, but whispering ancient truths, waiting for someone brave enough to listen. This is not just poetry, not just imagination. Across cultures, ages, and civilizations, the same truth keeps resurfacing. Stones are more than dead matter. They are vessels. They carry a memory that stretches far beyond the limits of human history. And if you are open enough, sensitive enough, you may begin to feel it, to recognize that their silence is not empty, but alive with meaning. Why would so many ancient traditions, from the shamans of the Americas to the mystics of the East, dedicate rituals to crystals and stones? Why would emperors and queens wear them not only as ornaments, but as amulets of power, protection, and influence? Could it be that they were not blinded by superstition, but awakened to a reality that our modern world has chosen to ignore? What if what we dismiss as superstition is, in fact, the language of nature trying to reach us? Through symbols. If you allow yourself to question, to suspend judgment for just a few moments, you may notice a strange stirring in your chest. That is curiosity, the seed of revelation, and it is the force that leads us deeper. Think about the last time you touched a stone. Maybe it was just a pebble on the street or a smooth rock you held without thinking. Did you notice the coldness at first, and then how it seemed to adapt to your warmth? Did you sense how its silence felt almost intentional, as if it knew how to contain itself? Stones are not like us. They do not rush. They do not age in the same way. A single crystal can exist for millions of years, absorbing the subtle energies of the earth, the storms, the fire, the water. When you hold such an object, you are not simply holding matter. You are touching the condensed memory of the planet itself. And here is the question: what if this memory can speak to you, not through words, but through vibration? What if the resonance of a stone can align with the deepest needs of your soul? Helena Blavatsky, one of the most profound voices of esoteric philosophy, believed that matter itself is alive, animated by forces we do not yet understand. She warned that humanity has become deaf to the hidden music of nature, distracted by illusions, blinded by the noise of the world. But she also promised that those who learn to listen, who learn to see beyond appearances, can awaken powers that change not only their destiny, but the way they exist in reality itself. If her words were true, then every stone at your feet could be a doorway. The question is, are you willing to step through it? There is something deeply psychological about this. We live our lives searching for meaning, for control, for security. Yet often we feel blocked, trapped in cycles of fear, doubt, and limitation. Modern science speaks of stress, of trauma, of mental patterns that repeat endlessly. Esoteric wisdom speaks of the same thing, but in different language. Energetic blockages, karmic impressions, vibrations out of tune with the universal harmony. And here enters the paradox. What if the solution to these invisible burdens lies in something as simple and silent as a stone? Could it be that what feels impossible to change through effort and willpower might be shifted by tuning yourself to the right frequency, the right vibration, embodied in a crystal? It is almost unsettling to consider. If such a possibility exists, why do so few of us explore it? Why do most people laugh at the idea or dismiss it as fantasy? Perhaps because the truth is too powerful, too intimate. To accept it means accepting that the world is not only material, it means that you are not as limited as you think, and that can be frightening. After all, if you suddenly discovered that you hold the keys to change your life, you would no longer have the excuse of helplessness. The responsibility would be yours, and that is both liberating and terrifying. But let us not stop here. Let us go further. Imagine a person holding a small piece of rose quartz, unaware of its significance. They keep it by their bed without much thought. Weeks later, they notice subtle changes, a softening of their emotions, a reconciliation with someone they had been distant from, a gentle warmth in their heart. Coincidence, they think. And yet, something inside whispers that it is not. This is how it begins, not with fireworks, but with whispers. The true power of crystals often reveals itself in the subtle, in the small transformations that grow roots until they reshape the entire tree of your life. Blavatsky once wrote that the visible world is only the shadow of the invisible. If that is true, then crystals are shadows of something immense, hints of energies that flow through all existence. They are not ends in themselves, but symbols, channels, messengers. Holding them, meditating with them, you are not worshipping a stone, but opening yourself to the universal intelligence that gave birth to it. This changes everything, because now the question is not, does this work? But rather, am I willing to listen? Am I willing to open myself to something greater than what I have been taught? The mind resists. It wants proof, explanations, logical evidence. And yet, your soul is stirred by stories, by mysteries, by experiences that defy explanation. Which voice will you follow? The voice of the skeptic, which keeps you safe but small, or the voice of the seeker, which invites you to risk the unknown and discover something greater than you imagined? This is the micro-conflict that begins the journey, the choice between doubt and openness, between fear and curiosity. Which will you choose? Stay with me, because soon you will meet the first of 10 extraordinary stones, each carrying not only beauty, but a vibration capable of altering your state of being. Each stone is like a doorway to a different dimension of experience. And the first one, the one we will reveal next, is not just a mineral. It is the embodiment of the force that moves the universe itself, love. But before we arrive there, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what if right now in your own life there are doors waiting to be opened by a key you never knew you had? The answer is close, and it begins with the first crystal you are about to discover. Have you ever asked yourself why, no matter how much you try, some desires seem impossible to reach? You may visualize, you may affirm, you may even believe with your whole heart, and yet something invisible blocks the way. It feels as if there is a wall between you and the life you dream of. This wall is not outside, it is within. Emotional scars, old memories, fears, doubts. They are like shadows that grow silently inside us. And when we try to call abundance, love, or peace, these shadows whisper back, "You are not ready, you do not deserve it, it cannot be yours." That is why so many people give up. They think the law of attraction does not work, when in truth it is their own hidden resistance that keeps them chained. This is where crystals become something extraordinary. They are not pieces of decoration, they are instruments that can help dissolve these invisible chains. Imagine carrying inside you a radio, tuned to the wrong station. The sound is broken, full of noise, and no matter how much you raise the volume, you cannot hear the true music. Crystals act like a new frequency. They retune you. helping you align with the song of the universe. And when you are in harmony with that song, manifestations begin to flow. You no longer push against the current. You move with it. Think of a moment in your life when you felt heavy, exhausted, unable to move forward. Maybe it was after a disappointment in love, maybe after a financial struggle, maybe after a betrayal that made you lose trust. At such times, no advice from outside seems enough. People tell you to think positive, to keep going, to smile, but inside you feel the weight of something much greater. Now imagine holding in your hand a stone that has existed for millions of years, a stone that has survived storms, fire, and pressure deep inside the earth. This stone carries stability, endurance, and silence. You feel it, and little by little, you remember that you too can survive. You too can resist, and you too can shine again. This is how crystals speak to us, not with words, but with presence. Helena Blavatsky taught that humanity is surrounded by layers of illusion. We look at the world and believe it is solid, final, but in truth, it is a vibration, a projection of deeper realities. When you work with crystals, you are not doing something childish. You are learning to use tools that reconnect you with those deeper realities. You are telling your subconscious, I am ready to tune myself with higher frequencies. And the subconscious listens. That is why, after starting with crystals, so many people report that they feel lighter, that problems that seemed impossible to solve suddenly begin to dissolve, that synchronicities start to appear. It is not fantasy, it is resonance. Consider the example of a woman who kept a small citrine stone in her purse. She did not fully believe in its power, but something inside told her to carry it. Over the week, she noticed new opportunities appearing, a job proposal, a friend suggesting an idea that turned into a source of income, unexpected financial relief. Coincidence, maybe. But when she stopped carrying the stone, the flow slowed down. When she took it back, the movement returned. The mind may doubt, but the soul knows. And what about love? Many have lived broken relationships, closed hearts, distrust that prevents them from receiving affection again. The gentle energy of rose quartz has helped countless people to forgive, to open themselves to new encounters, and to heal wounds that seemed permanent. Think of a man who could not overcome the pain of betrayal. He slept every night with a piece of rose quartz under his pillow. With time, he began to dream differently, to release memories in his sleep. He woke up lighter until one day he noticed that he no longer thought of the betrayal with pain, but with wisdom. He was free. This is the subtle work of energy. What is important to understand is that crystals do not impose. They invite. They do not control your destiny. They open doors. You are the one who chooses to step through. That is why you are here now listening to this, because a part of you is ready to look beyond the surface, ready to transform blocks into bridges. And as you continue, you will meet the first of 10 powerful stones that carry within them the frequencies you need. But before we go there, I want you to do something very simple yet very powerful. Write in the comments right now the sentence, I attract energy. By writing it, you are not only leaving words on a screen. You are making a declaration to your subconscious. You are affirming to the universe that you are ready to align yourself with higher vibrations. Do not underestimate this act. It is small, but it plants a seed. And now, one more thing. Somewhere in the corner of your screen there is a red button. Only the chosen will click it. Only those who feel the call, only those who want to break the chains and be blessed with new energy will take this step. If you are one of them, click on the red button and subscribe to this channel. Join this path because it is no accident that you are here. Something greater has guided you. The next part will reveal the first crystal, the one that holds the essence of love itself, and you will not want to miss it. Stay with me because the journey is just beginning. When we begin to explore the mystery of crystals, we soon realize that they are not only silent companions of the earth, but guides that reflect parts of ourselves we often ignore. The first crystal that demands attention is rose quartz, known as the stone of unconditional love. To look at it is to look at a fragment of dawn made solid, soft, and luminous. People who keep it close often describe subtle but powerful changes. Old wounds of the heart begin to heal, not because the stone itself forces forgiveness, but because its vibration reminds us of something we once knew. Love is not something we need to deserve. It is the essence of who we are. The energy of rose quartz works like a mirror, showing us that the hardest chains are those we forge inside our chest. Once they begin to dissolve, love can flow again, both to ourselves and to others. But here comes the question. How often do we truly allow ourselves to be loved? Think carefully. How many times have you rejected kindness because you felt unworthy? How many times did you sabotage a relationship because you carried the belief that love would only end in pain? Rose quartz does not erase these fears magically. Instead, it works slowly, day by day, pressing against the walls of the heart until the cracks appear and light returns. Imagine placing a small piece of this crystal under your pillow and noticing after a few nights that your dreams have changed. Instead of revisiting past traumas, you dream of reconciliation, of new beginnings, of possibilities you had stopped believing in. Would you consider that just coincidence? Or would you dare to think the crystal is whispering to your subconscious? The second crystal we must face is pyrite, often called fool's gold. Yet there is nothing foolish about its presence. Golden, radiant, carrying the brilliance of the sun, pyrite is a stone of abundance. But abundance here does not only mean wealth in the physical sense. Pyrite carries the frequency of confidence, of courage, of worth. Think of how many times your relationship with money has been poisoned by fear, by the thought that there is never enough, that you are always behind, always lacking. This mindset creates a prison more dangerous than poverty itself. Pyrite's energy challenges this prison. It tells you what you believe about money is what money becomes in your life. Place it on your desk, keep it near your workspace, and soon you may notice subtle changes. Opportunities appear, ideas come, decisions feel easier. Is it magic, or is it the shift in your energy that finally allows you to see the doors that were always there? And here lies the paradox. Why do some people attract abundance effortlessly, while others seem cursed to struggle endlessly? Is it luck, genetics, fate? Or is it a matter of vibration of the invisible beliefs and emotions we carry like hidden magnets? Pyrite invites us to question this. Its glow is a reminder that abundance is not outside, waiting for you to catch it. It is inside, waiting for you to release it. The question is, are you willing to change the way you think, or will you continue repeating the same cycle? Then comes citrine, the merchant stone, carrying a brightness that looks like sunlight captured in crystal form. Citrine is not only about prosperity, it is about freedom. Many people believe wealth means earning more, having more, piling up possessions. Citrine teaches a different lesson. True freedom is not about the size of your bank account, but about your relationship with opportunity. Think of a time when you turned down a chance because fear whispered in your ear. How different could your life be if you had taken it? Citrine brings courage for those choices. It realigns the solar plexus, the seat of personal power, and reminds you that security is not found in clinging, but in flowing. Carry citrine in your wallet or purse, and it becomes more than a charm. It becomes a daily reminder that you have the power to choose differently. But ask yourself this: why do we so often resist freedom? Why does the unknown terrify us, even when the known is painful? Citrine does not promise to remove fear, but to balance it with trust. It shows us that life is not a constant loss waiting to happen, but a series of gifts waiting to be accepted. To live this truth is to shift from survival to creation, and that is the difference between existing and living. Now pause for a moment. Do you notice what is happening here? Each of these stones, rose quartz, pyrite, citrine, does not only offer an external benefit like love, wealth, or freedom. They mirror back to you the inner blocks you carry. They show you where you limit yourself, where you refuse to believe, where you hold on to illusions. This is why crystals are powerful, not because they do the work for you, but because they awaken what is already inside you. Consider a story. A man struggling with debt and constant anxiety discovered citrine through a friend. At first he laughed at the idea, but curiosity won. He placed a small citrine crystal in his wallet and forgot about it. Weeks later, he noticed something unusual. He no longer panicked when paying bills. He felt calm, more focused. Soon he began to see opportunities that had been invisible before: side jobs, creative solutions, new contacts. Slowly, his finances improved. He said the stone reminded him each time he touched his wallet that fear was not the only option. Was it just a psychological trick? Perhaps. But does it matter if the result was liberation? Stories like this repeat again and again. people finding rose quartz and reconciling with themselves, pyrite helping them believe in their worth, citrine opening paths where before there were only walls. And still, the skeptical mind resists, asking for proof, for logic, for numbers. But the heart knows that proof is not always visible. Proof is the feeling of waking up lighter. Proof is a relationship healed. Proof is courage returning when you thought it was gone forever. So what does this mean for you? It means you are not powerless. It means that even if you feel broken, even if life has taught you to expect disappointment, there are tools that can help you remember your strength. But here comes the deeper question. Are you willing to accept that change can be simple? That holding a crystal, meditating with it, or even just carrying it with intention could shift your life in ways years of struggle could not? Or will you dismiss it, and with it, dismiss the possibility of a new story? Suspense is born from questions left unanswered, and perhaps that is the gift of these stones. They do not hand you final answers. They hand you doors. Whether you step through them is your choice, but one thing is certain. As you continue on this journey, you will meet more crystals, each carrying its own key. Some will surprise you, some will challenge you, and some will call to you so strongly that you will know they were meant for you all along. And the next one you will discover holds not only beauty, but a vibration so high that for centuries it has been considered the stone of the spirit itself. Imagine what might happen if you held such a key in your hands. Imagine what could awaken inside you. That is where we are going next. Throughout history, certain crystals have been described as more than treasures of the earth. They have been described as messengers, symbols of spiritual awakening, and guardians of wisdom. The amethyst is one of those stones. To hold it is to feel a vibration that does not only soothe but expands, almost like a silent breath opening the mind beyond its limits. Ancient Greeks believed amethyst could prevent intoxication, not only of wine, but of illusions. In monasteries across Europe, monks used it as a support for prayer and meditation, believing that it sharpened their connection to higher realities. And even today, people who keep amethyst near their bed report deeper sleep, vivid dreams, and a sense of clarity when they wake. Is this superstition? Or could it be that this violet stone truly holds a frequency that interacts with our brain waves? Modern studies on color and light already show that violet stimulates intuition and creativity. Perhaps amethyst is a natural antenna for the same principle. Imagine a young woman struggling with confusion, lost in doubts about her future. She starts to meditate daily with a piece of amethyst in her hands. At first, nothing seems to happen, but after weeks, she notices a calmness in her thoughts, a new trust in her intuition, and soon she begins to make decisions without fear. Within months, her life changes direction. This is not a story of a miracle stone, but of how tools awaken capacities already present in us. The amethyst simply whispers, "Trust yourself." Then we arrive at green aventurine, often called the stone of opportunity. Its name comes from the Italian avventura, meaning chance. Gamblers in ancient times carried it for luck, but its power goes beyond games. Today, many people wear aventurine during job interviews, business meetings, or creative projects. Statistics show that more than 70% of people admit to feeling blocked by negative thinking before opportunities arise. Aventurine works on this exact frequency. It encourages optimism, hope, and a willingness to try again. Imagine someone applying for dozens of jobs without success. Discouragement builds, and they start to believe rejection is inevitable. Carrying aventurine does not guarantee employment, but it does shift the internal state from despair to possibility. And in that state, people perform differently. They smile more, they speak with more confidence, they radiate readiness. Studies in psychology confirm that employers are far more likely to hire candidates who appear hopeful and confident. Could aventurine be a bridge that reminds us to embody these qualities? Consider another surprising fact. In some cultures, aventurine is given to children to reduce shyness. Parents notice that when the child carries the stone, they engage more easily with others. This mirrors modern findings in neuroscience that link optimism to resilience. A hopeful brain is a resilient brain, capable of navigating stress better than one locked in negativity. Aventurine may simply be the physical symbol that anchors this state. Now imagine something more extraordinary. What if a crystal could align all your centers of energy at once? Quartz titanium, known as the aura quartz, is created when clear quartz fuses with titanium, producing a rainbow sheen that looks otherworldly. Skeptics call it artificial because the process involves human intervention. Yet perhaps this is the perfect symbol of cooperation between nature and humanity. The quartz provides clarity and amplification, while titanium adds strength and color. Together, they create a stone that vibrates with intensity, often described as a surge of life force. People who meditate with it report sudden bursts of creativity, unexpected solutions, and energy that feels electric. Could it be that some crystals are not only natural gifts, but also collaborative creations designed to accelerate our awakening? Psychologists studying color therapy have long noted that exposure to a spectrum of colors stimulates the brain in unique ways. Titanium quartz, shimmering with the rainbow, may act like a multi-frequency signal, feeding each chakra with exactly what it needs. Imagine carrying such a stone during a time of stagnation, when your energy feels drained. Suddenly, you notice motivation returning, ideas appearing in your dreams, enthusiasm rising again. The stone does not solve your problems, but it becomes a catalyst that reminds you that energy is always available if you are open to it. As we continue, the journey moves deeper into traditions that have celebrated certain stones for thousands of years. Jade, especially green jade, has been revered in China for more than 5,000 years. It was called Yu, meaning the royal gem. Emperors were buried with jade because it was believed to protect their spirits in the afterlife. Warriors wore it as a shield in battle, trusting its vibration to preserve their strength. Even today, jade remains a symbol of prosperity, purity, and harmony. Global markets show that jade is valued higher than gold in some regions, not only for its beauty, but for its cultural and spiritual significance. What makes this stone so powerful in the human imagination? Perhaps it is its balance of toughness and softness, resilience and elegance. Aya teaches us that true wealth is not only accumulation, but balance. Think of a family that places a small jade elephant with its trunk raised in their living room. They say their home feels protected, that money flows with more ease, that harmony between family members improves. Is it the stone or the intention placed upon it? In truth, it may be both. Symbols shape our subconscious, and jade has been a universal symbol of fortune for centuries. When you align with such a symbol, your mind begins to expect prosperity, and expectation itself shapes reality. But jade is not only about money, it is also about courage. In Mayan culture, jade was associated with the heart. Warriors carried it to maintain bravery in the face of fear. Today, when many people feel paralyzed by modern battles, anxiety, loneliness, uncertainty, jade can act as a reminder that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. In this sense, jade is not only a relic of the past, but a medicine for the present. Now let us turn to carnelian, the fiery stone of creativity and courage. In ancient Egypt, it was placed on the tombs of pharaohs as a symbol of vitality that would carry them into the afterlife. Artists through history have carried it as a muse. Its orange-red glow resonates with the base and sacral chakras, fueling desire, passion, and imagination. Think of the times when you felt empty of ideas, when inspiration seemed impossible. Carnelian is said to ignite that inner fire again. A writer suffering from months of block keeps a carnelian near their desk. Soon they begin to feel a spark returning, ideas flowing again. Was it coincidence, or did the stone awaken what had been dormant? Curiously, modern statistics reveal that more than 60% of adults say they wish they could be more creative in their daily lives, yet they feel stuck in routine. Carnelian may not turn someone into an artist overnight, but it becomes a reminder, a symbol of fire that urges the mind to break repetition and seek expression. It tells us, creation is not only for the talented, it is for the living. Every choice, every new idea, every courageous step is a creative act. But let us not forget the shadow that must also be faced. Obsidian, dark and volcanic, has been used since prehistoric times for tools and weapons. Sharp as glass, it was shaped into blades by ancient cultures. But spiritually, it is known as a mirror stone, revealing the truths we try hardest to hide. People fear obsidian because it shows them their shadows. And yet, psychologists today confirm that real healing begins with confronting the unconscious. Obsidian is like the therapist of stones, breaking illusions and forcing us to see what we would rather avoid. Imagine someone who carries it during a period of personal transformation. Painful memories rise, tears flow, but with time they feel lighter, freer, stronger. This is the paradox of obsidian. It wounds to heal. One statistic is particularly striking. Studies in therapy show that people who confront their past directly are 40% more likely to achieve lasting healing than those who avoid it. Obsidian embodies this principle. It does not offer comfort first, but clarity, and from clarity, liberation is born. Those who dare to work with it often emerge transformed, no longer prisoners of their old stories. All of these stones, amethyst, aventurine, titanium quartz, jade, carnelian, obsidian, form a path that moves from the heights of the spirit to the depths of the shadow. They remind us that transformation is not one-dimensional. It requires expansion, luck, energy, prosperity, creativity, and courage to face the dark. The next step will reveal a crystal that shines with golden light, a stone so linked to power and intention that it has been described as a mirror of the sun itself. Imagine what might happen if you could hold the energy of the sun in your hands. That is the mystery waiting just ahead. The journey brings us now to the final crystal, the golden topaz, also called the stone of power. To look at it is to see sunlight captured in matter, a small flame of eternity resting in your hand. For centuries, it has been a symbol of clarity, intention, and persistence. Mystics described it as the stone that amplifies willpower, aligning desire with action, and reminding us that dreams without action are only illusions. Topaz does not simply reflect light, it reflects you, showing the strength you may have forgotten you carry. Think of how often people give up on themselves. Statistics reveal that most New Year's resolutions fail within 30 days, not because people lack intelligence, but because they lack alignment between intention and energy. Topaz is not a magical solution, but it is a powerful reminder that persistence is possible when your mind and heart are united. When you hold it during meditation, you may feel that silent encouragement, that whisper saying, "Continue. You are stronger than you think." But now the question must be asked, how can these teachings move from words into real change? Because listening is one thing, but living is another. Here is a simple plan, a path you can begin today. First, choose the crystal that spoke most strongly to you. Do not overthink. Trust the one that attracted your attention. That stone will be your starting point. Keep it close, in your pocket, near your bed, or on your desk. Its presence alone will serve as a symbol, a constant reminder of the energy you're inviting. Second, set a daily ritual. It does not need to be long. 5 minutes is enough. Hold the crystal in your hand, close your eyes, and breathe slowly. With every breath, imagine you are absorbing its energy. With every exhale, imagine releasing doubts and fears. This practice is not about superstition. It is about training your subconscious mind to focus on alignment. And remember, the subconscious is where 95% of your daily actions are programmed. By repeating this ritual, you are literally rewriting your internal patterns. Third, give your intention a clear shape. Write down on paper what you want to manifest. Be specific but simple. For example, I invite love into my life, or I open myself to abundance, or I strengthen my health and energy. Place this paper near your crystal so that each day when you see it, your mind remembers. Studies in psychology confirm that written goals are far more likely to be achieved than those kept only in thought. This is not coincidence. It is focus. Fourth, connect your crystal with action. If your goal is love, do not only meditate, open yourself to social encounters, practice kindness, forgive old wounds. If your goal is abundance, do not only imagine, look for opportunities, improve your skills, manage your resources with wisdom. The crystal is not a replacement for action. It is a companion that amplifies your courage to act. Remember this truth. Energy follows action. Finally, practice gratitude. Each night, hold your crystal and think of 3 things you are grateful for. Gratitude changes your frequency. It shifts your mind from scarcity to abundance, from fear to trust. Neuroscience shows that gratitude activates parts of the brain linked to happiness and resilience. When combined with the symbolic presence of a crystal, gratitude becomes not just a thought, but a vibration that shapes your reality. This plan is simple, but do not underestimate it. Many people dismiss simple practices because they seem too easy. Yet often, the most powerful transformations come from consistency in small acts. Imagine yourself following these steps for 1 month. How different would you feel? Imagine 3 months. Imagine 1 year. The truth is, the moment you begin, you are already changing, because you are choosing intention over passivity, presence over distraction, action over stagnation. And now, as this journey closes, reflect for a moment on what you have discovered. 10 stones, each carrying a vibration, each reminding you of something you already knew deep inside. Rose quartz showing you love, pyrite showing you abundance, citrine teaching you freedom, amethyst opening intuition, aventurine inspiring optimism, titanium quartz fueling energy, jade reminding you of prosperity and courage, carnelian awakening creativity, obsidian forcing you to face your shadow, and golden topaz uniting all of them with persistence and will. This is not just a list, this is a map, a path you can walk, one step at a time, toward the life you were always meant to live. Do not let this knowledge fade like a dream you forget upon waking. Take 1 step today. Choose your stone, set your ritual, and begin. Remember that change does not happen in the distant future. Change begins the moment you decide to act, and if you are here, it means you are ready. The fact that you watched until this point is already proof that something inside you is calling for transformation. Honor that call. Now I ask you to share your presence with us. Subscribe to this channel by clicking the button, like this video to keep this message alive, and comment below with your experiences, your questions, or even just your reflections. If you wish, you may do it anonymously. What matters is that you express, because expression makes energy flow. By doing this, you are not only supporting the work, but declaring to yourself, I am ready to transform. I am ready to step forward. This is your moment. Do not let it pass silently. Take the step and let the journey continue.